Hello and welcome to week 5 of Chris and Jason's League Pick'em series. My name is Chris, of course, and join with me is my deathly ill friend Jason.
I'm not quite dead yet, sir. Good
Hospice
to be
care
here
then.
with you as we prepare for the dreaded bye weeks.
Alright, let's get right into the picks. Quite a lot of upset last week. Wasn't so much a story of how bad I did, but how uncredible we both are. Considering
I
we
think it was
both
more of
called
a
so
story of
many
how bad
games.
you did and how much better I was than you. That's what I think it was.
In fact,
Because
I did some research, and this is
Mhm.
actually the only. There wasn't one week last year where I had a losing record of picks versus bad picks. But I jumped in front of that real early this season with a record of 6-10 this week,
the
whereas
worst that's
Jason,
ever.
yep,
Go on, go
worst
on.
I ever did. And then Jason just barely scraped by with 8-8.
Yeah, I think 6-10 is the worst one either of us have ever had since the start of Pick'em. So congratulations.
Oh, I did some research. You pulled off 2 10s and a 9 last season.
I lost 10 games out of 16 last season.
Of games where you could screw up that many picks, yes.
Oh wow. Then we may have to get a recount on that, but we don't need to talk about that then. Worst ever, 6-10.
Yep. So the game.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of those games that that they were close, but maybe you shouldn't have picked. Jets. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm really regretting that early Chiefs pity pick. So we start the season for week 4 for Chris at 41-23, and now Jason is only 2 games behind at 39-25.
Let's get into each game, shall we?
All right, first up on Thursday we have the Seahawks 3-1 now somehow against the Cardinals, barely winning against them, and they go down to 2-2 at Arizona. Don't have a lot to say about some of these games because I was kind of not feeling well, like most of last week, to be honest. And I definitely did not watch this game or listen to it. And I usually listen to a lot of games.
Yeah, I missed this one as well, but the Cardinals were not even close. Their final two touchdowns were in the last 8 minutes of the game. So this was a pretty dominating performance for the Seahawks D, as far as I understand. And yeah, their offense continues to be good. They keep feeding the ball to Smith Jigba. And as much as I think that they should be spreading it around more with the talent they have in the receiving core, it's working. It's working. Everything is firing on all cylinders for the Seahawks. Um, Obviously, the division is a little bit weaker than we expected. But yeah, I've nothing bad to say about Seattle. I think that we're going to see them in the playoffs come season end for sure.
All right, next on to a game I did watch with a lot of passion. I had to wake up like at crack of dawn to watch this game because this was this Dublin game in Ireland.
How
And
was Ireland?
yep, and my boy Aaron came through, and as I predicted, that Steelers defense tightened up. And even though this says it was a 3-point game, this was a
Hmm.
super dominant Steelers game, back to form. And this honestly, the Vikings were lucky they even picked up some of these later points. This was like a Steelers game the whole way through, and I was very shocked how well the Steelers played in this game. Honestly, I expected the Vikings. Obviously, we both expected the Vikings to win because we both picked them. But shame on me for picking against my boy.
Carson Wentz, 350 yards on 46 attempts, and Rodgers only 200 yards, but very, very efficient, 18 for 22. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't like giving the guy credit, right? Essentially, the Steelers won by a field goal that Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do with kicking. Both teams scored 3 touchdowns, but like I said about the last game, right? It's true that most of the Vikings' points were right at the end when the Steelers just didn't want to give away points quickly. And And it's true that it is pretty impressive that at this age he's still putting up competent quarterback play. It's not great, it's not good, but it is, I'll admit, usually competent, which is a lot better than we
Serviceable.
saw of him on the Jets.
Serviceable is what the word you're looking for.
That's another word that definitely describes it. Game manager.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
All right,
Next.
and another game we both blew. The Falcons, after scoring 0 against the Panthers, managed to drop 34 on the Redskins. And I believe Daniels was hurt this game, and he's going to be hurt next week too. And I don't know who played in this game for the Redskins, but it sucked. And the
Yeah,
Redskins are in a rut to start this season for the team you picked to win the division.
yeah. Bad call by me. I'm admitting it already. Mea culpa. Mariota.
Oh, that's right.
Just yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were relying much more on rushing, and yeah, it just kind of didn't work for them. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna have faith in the Commanders for a while.
They got no
The
rushing
Falcons.
attack, and they got no defense.
The Falcons have been better than we've thought.
I don't know what to make of him. This Penix guy, I've seen his stats on like each game, and they're like nothing to write home about.
And I think I told you last week, right? Like after they get zeroed, I think they got zeroed in week 3, right?
Yeah.
They had a lot of teams bounce back from a really embarrassing performance like that, because their coach is just fire and brimstone, saying you guys better work for me or your heads are gonna roll, because he doesn't want to get fired mid-season. So I think we had another zero this week. We could talk about that as we make our predictions for next week. But yeah, Falcons really kind of capable of almost anything right now, good or bad.
I don't think the good spectrum is as big as the bad spectrum.
I mean, they just put up 34 points against the Commanders.
Yeah, but their
21
defense sucks, and they have no running game.
Defense doesn't suck.
It
I mean, it's
definitely
not like
sucks.
I think it's serviceable.
It's what? No, no way it isn't. It's probably like
Let's move on.
probably like a top 20 defense.
Well, I mean, top 20 serviceable, right? If you're number 19 at 32, right? That's not necessarily losing you games.
It's a bottom 10 defense.
You think they're bottom 10?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were a bottom 10 team. They were garbage last year too.
I wouldn't be shocked, but again, like there's not that much of a difference, I think, between like probably like 22 and 12.
What?
Yeah. Well,
Crazy.
I mean, in terms of like the actual like points in production, obviously
Crazy.
football is won or lost on the margin, right? Like if the difference is 4 points each game, I mean that still is significant. But I'm just saying, like, statistically, it's not a lot.
All right, let's move on from that heretical statement to the Bills game. And this was a very close one for a while, and I was getting a little nervous for my boy Josh because at halftime this was like 14-14, and then thankfully, one of these teams made the legendary halftime adjustments and then ran away with it.
Yeah, fourth quarter, the Bills very good, but much closer than I thought this would be. Props to the Saints for playing them close. I didn't see much of this one. Did the Bills make a lot of mistakes, or were the Saints just playing well?
Well, the thing was, I was so goddamn tired after the Steeler game. I took a nap during the halfway through the Eagles-Ram game, which was the morning game I watched.
We'll pull the Wikipedia and assume good faith and say that the Saints just played out of their minds here and almost beat the Bills, so good for them.
All right, next up, we got the Browns getting annihilated by the Lions, and I don't really have much to say about this other than Joe Flacco is really disappointing me, and he's one of the 7 geezers left, and I'm really upset because I want my geezers to go out on top.
Would you be able to like list off if I asked you right now who are all 7 geezers? Do you have this committed?
Yeah.
Do it.
And they don't have to be starters; they're just all still in the NFL.
Last
Last year it was 8 because I think Matt Ryan retired last year.
Yeah, so give us the 7 real quick. I'm
Okay,
interested because I might have forgotten about
let's see.
someone.
It's Aaron's the oldest, Kirk's the
Mm-hmm.
second. I don't know them all by like oldest to youngest. Because
Okay.
Aaron, Kirk,
Aaron Kirk.
then Joe Flacco, uh,
Okay.
Matt Stafford. Okay, that's 5.
Wow, is he? You consider him a geezer? That's 4, I think.
Bro, he's
You
super.
got
He's 37.
Aaron Kirk. You got Aaron Kirk, Flacco, and Stafford. That's 4. How old is he? Isn't he like 35? 34?
He's like 37, I think. Matthew
Is he that
Stafford.
old already?
Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Kirk's really old too. There's Aaron, Kirk,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Uh, that's 4.
Yeah, that's 4.
Okay, and then that redheaded guy who used to play for the Bengals. He's the backup for
Dalton?
the Panthers.
Dalton?
Yeah, Andy Dalton. That's 5.
Uh-huh.
And then shit. Oh, Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston, okay.
He's in his mid-30s too. Who's
I
the
don't think
last
you're a
one? Damn
geezer
it!
until you're at least like 37.
Dak doesn't
But,
count. Dak's part of like the next generation.
uh-huh.
Who's the final geezer? Oh, Geno Smith. Geno Smith's the final geezer.
Oh my god, Gino being a geezer? How has time passed? How has
He's
so much time passed so quickly?
all the
Yeah,
geezers are
that's
at least like 34 or 35.
crazy. Stafford, we'll talk about it more, but like just watching him like still move around the pocket, he does not look like he's 37, you know? He really moves around like he's 30. It's great.
Well, that's kind of hard to believe because he was never a mobile quarterback. Even when he was young, he was always a
He's
pocket
not like the
passer.
type of quarterback that like runs all the way to the sideline and beats defenders and goes 25 yards. He's the type of quarterback that just like gets touched, gets hit, survives the hit, steps 3 steps into the defenders, and just moves his body a little bit, so that nobody can knock down the pass. Like it's just impressive physical play, I'd say, within the pocket.
All right. What
All
the
right,
hell are we
Houston,
talking?
Tennessee's next, I think.
Oh, there you go. You got the 7 geezers of Laura.
The grand ancients of the NFL.
It might be a huge decline next year. It might go down to 4. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last season for Dalton,
We'll have,
Flacco, or
we'll have more
Aaron.
like 32-year-olds getting promoted to your definition of a geezer. Then don't worry.
No. There's only those are the Chris's was young generation geezers. Those are my geezers, man.
Now this was the one game that I called wrong, and man, did I call this wrong. Houston, Tennessee.
Yeah,
Uh,
this is the
Sorry, the one
only.
game that I called wrong that you called right. I called a lot of games wrong. It was just you also called them
Yes,
wrong.
there were a lot of stinky ones for both of us. That's for sure.
Yeah.
This reminds me of that one week last season where we both called like fucking like 12 games wrong or something. There was like so many upsets that week or something.
Yeah, was it week 3 last year?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I remember week 3. Like it was just upset city.
I think I was like 8-8 that week, and you were like 4-14 or something.
Yeah, like 15% of my survivor was still in it after week 3 last season. It was a crazy start. Anyway, yeah, like Titans got absolutely zeroed. Texans defense and special teams still playing incredibly well. I did not see this one, so I don't know how many of the points were actually defensive for the Texans. It looks like, oh wow, it looks like up to the fourth quarter it was 6-0.
Yeah, even though this was a good bounce back game from the game from the Texans, I still think the Texans are in like a supernatural funk. Yeah, they're in a real bad place right now.
Stroud is not playing well. They're not getting protected. Collins, I'm guessing he's often getting double teamed. When
Yeah,
I have seen them play, he doesn't target them much, so it's hard to see what the coverage is like there.
he's been
But
very middle of the pack in
or he
fantasy.
does target them. He does target him a lot, actually. But like,
He gets lots of targets, but he hasn't even had a
yeah,
20-point game in fantasy.
right. It really seems like they're hurting from the lack of Dell, and like you said, injuries to running backs are just killing them as well.
Joe
But
Mixon, yeah.
yeah. looks like we have okay. All three touchdowns fourth were offensive, so at least they had a really good quarter. They turned it on there. But I think that the story here, besides the Titans just complete ineptitude, is and Titans haven't been good for so long. I mean, Tannehill was the last time they were decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the story here is that the Texans D is still superb and playing with a lot of pride.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I looked it up. The Texans defense, while they're like far from like number one in fantasy points, they are number one in points allowed right now.
The Texans are number one best points allowed. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean they've I think shut down every single team they've played this season. It's just the offense hasn't been able to do enough until now.
All right, next up, a dominant showing out of the Patriots, who don't have a losing record for probably the first time in 5 years here. And this is probably the most points they've put up since Tom Brady retired, or left for the Bucs at least.
Right. You know, very impressive. I don't think either one of us was surprised the Patriots win here. 6 touchdowns is a little more surprising, but yeah, you know, Drake May is very good. The Panthers, you know, aside from that one surprise last week, have really struggled. There was a funny billboard in Charlotte that read, I think it read, "At least our punter can tackle a player." You know, not a billboard. It was like one of those like you know, signs outside a restaurant where they put up letter by letter. At least our punter can tackle. Great.
Yeah, that franchise is just in an endless death spiral.
Yeah, they were good early on in their franchise, and it's you probably don't even remember that. Like it's been so many years.
I just remember not liking Cam Newton.
Yeah, well, we know what the characteristics of quarterbacks you don't like are.
Okay. Oh my God.
What?
I forgot Russell Wilson. There are 8 geezers.
Oh yeah, Russell's definitely a geezer by now. Geno Smith is.
My bad, there's 8 geezers.
Got Disney's 9 old men and the NFL's 8 geezers.
I might have accidentally filled in Russell's slot with Jameis Winston's slot, but he's definitely one of the geezers too, because Jameis has been around a long time as a backup.
Oh man. Alright, what's next?
Next up, we've got the Giants upsetting the Chargers. We both picked the Chargers for this one, foolishly. And somehow, everyone is raving about this Jackson Darkeyes rookie game. And while it is a great, win as a rookie, in terms of it was a mediocre performance, honestly, in terms of statistics. It's an awesome game for a rookie, though.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, look, Russell Wilson, when he was first starting out, wasn't putting up the biggest numbers, but it was like you could see the guy had the competitive fire. I'm talking about Wilson, back in the old days before he was great. Even.
No, he was instantly good.
He was instantly good, but the stats were not there. It was like you could just see that he had the competitive fire. He was clutch. He was able to make plays. But it was really unimpressive stat-wise for Wilson. And then, as the scheme kind of developed around him, you could see that Wilson was really that great. Maybe we'll see that at Dart. But he's on the Giants. I think it's very possible that, he has a big regression, and he's not going to be good until he's not going to look good until he gets traded elsewhere. That's my prediction.
Well, he better pick it up because I just picked up one of the Giants receivers because Malik Neighbors just went down for the whole season.
Smart fantasy move. Yeah, Neighbors is gone and the throws have to go somewhere, right?
You'd think so, but like you said, it's the Giants. They might just go to a black hole.
I mean, Scatabo had 25 rushing attempts this game.
Yeah, somehow there's a guy in my league who actually drafted him before, when he was, had 0 touches, the first 2 weeks or something.
Scatabo? That's pretty clever. Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes just like if there's like a lot of upside, if another player team on the team goes down and you have like a big bench in your league, yeah, it can be good to spend a late draft pick on basically somebody that would normally be a handcuff or a backup, and they get a lot of value if if certain players go down. Yeah.
Yep, I'm a dumbass.
All right, let's move on, man.
Anyway, now this game I fell asleep during the second half. We got the Eagles barely beating the Buccaneers, and this was a pretty abysmal game, honestly, by both sides. Way more abysmal than the score would indicate. This was like one of Baker's worst games of the year, and he threw like 2 picks in this game, and then the Eagles infamously not doing anything to win in the second half of this game and just kind of, grease sliding their way to victory.
I don't know. Last week they pulled off a comeback from 26-7. Yeah, a lot of their wins are ugly,
Yeah, but in
but
that game they didn't do anything in the first half.
exactly. Like that, they're really capable of turning it on at any point, and I think that there's a lot to be said for that, even if they're winning close. I still have full faith in the Eagles. No, I don't have the Commanders to win the division anymore. Yeah, everyone's always looking for a reason to criticize the champs, right? And if they're not blowing teams out by 25 points, everyone's getting on their case. The Eagles are still probably the best team in the league right now. It's not the Ravens. It's not the Chiefs. Honestly, it's not the Bills. It's the Eagles. It's not the Lions.
Why can't it be
It's
the
the Eagles.
Bills?
They're the best team. The Bills just barely beat the Saints.
The
What do you
Eagles
want
just
from them? Yeah,
Eagles barely
a
beat
much
the
better team than the
Cowboys.
Saints. They just Cowboys make every game look close.
Honestly, I think the Eagles and the Bills are the only good teams from last year that doesn't look like they've lost a step.
Those are the only two 4-0 teams right now, right?
Yeah.
Eagles and Bills. Yeah. Yeah. The Bills are very, very good, but I think the Eagles have beaten much harder competition than the Bills have.
You say so.
And also look, I mean, the Bills just have a history of collapsing late in the playoffs.
Collapsing.
Anyway,
Crazy.
yeah.
Josh Allen has never been
They're like
blown
over
out in the
probably like
playoffs.
8 in the championship game in our lifetimes.
Well, first of all, I think Josh has
Uh-huh.
only been to 2 of those, and Josh has never been blown out in
Yeah.
the playoff game.
Do they get? It doesn't matter if you get blown out or not. If you're winning and you and then you lose, that's a collapse.
Definitely
In the one game
not.
that matters. I
Collapse
have
would be
much
like
more
any
faith.
time the
I will bet
Dolphins
you.
get to the
I will
playoffs.
bet you the pizza. Oh, shut up about the Dolphins. I will bet you a pizza if you want. Eagles versus Bills making it farther in the playoffs. Because I think it's going to be the Eagles every time.
Can't do anything forever. I don't know. I feel like the Bills are in a way better position in their conference than the Eagles are in their conference.
I don't know that I agree with that.
I would take the pizza bet. I think the Bills will do better in the playoffs.
You want to do the pizza bet? We can do the pizza.
I'll take the pizza bet this time.
All right.
Bills. What if they just both lose in the same round?
Then nobody gets the pizza. We buy ourselves the pizza.
Oh, okay.
And if a team gets a bye, that counts as a win. Yes.
I mean,
Like you don't like. Yeah, I mean it's just about going further. It's not about winning more playoff games per se. It's just who goes further. Okay.
I'll take that bet because the Bills are practically already a lock for the number 1 seed.
It'll be like the one time I'm ever rooting for the Eagles in the playoffs. All right, sounds fun, man. Let's do it.
All right, next up, we've got the Colts getting their first loss against the Rams, who are supposed to be at the bottom of their division. Speaking of bets.
I'm losing a couple points there, aren't I? Yeah, like I said, the Rams looked very good in this. This was, and it's funny because my prop bet last week, and we'll talk about yours, but my prop bet was the
Oh
Colts make
yeah.
a comeback win from 10 points down in the fourth. And what actually happened was the Rams made a comeback win. They were at least a touchdown down in the fourth. I don't remember. I think it was 7. But absolutely dominated the fourth. And yeah, I did see a fair amount of this game. Stafford and Puka looked incredible. Jared Verse was freaking living in the Colts backfield. This was not Daniel Jones' fault. Like the line was just letting Verse get to Jones every other play. It was crazy. There was also fucking there was also Adonai Mitchell, who broke the touchdown run, which was going to be, I think, 50, 60, 70 yards or something. And, to celebrate, puts the ball out in front of him and just drops it forward and it's a touchback. Like, you can't blame Daniel Jones for that. This was a walk-in touchdown. And, like, in the midst of it, wasn't like a crazy, like, flip or anything, but he just, like, put the football out to be like, yeah! And dropped it, and it rolled out of the end zone. Touchback. That was just 7 points straight up taken off of the Colts. I saw the second half of this game. I only saw a bit of the first half. So obviously the Colts, had gotten out ahead. But for what I saw, Rams looked amazing. Stafford looked great. Verse was incredible. And yeah, I'll say, you know how much I like picking on Sean McVay. Did not notice a single mistake in the play calling or the game management. No notes, 10 out of 10.
Oh, well, this was like the worst prop bet you've ever done. This probably happens like almost every week to at least one team.
Oh, I'm sure it happens to one team. I'm sure you could pick out 4 quarterbacks if you actually like cherry picked the guys and get 1,500 yards. The skill in the prop is figuring out which team it's going to happen to.
Alright, next up we've got maybe an upset win over the 49ers by the Jags. And are the Jags magical again enough to pick?
Starting to look like they might be, right? Like they're really getting it done. Lawrence is once again making a bunch of clutch drives. It's like this team doesn't have a lot of star power, but they really are playing well. What do you think?
I feel like it must be a mistake for 3-1 to be next to Jaguars, is what it seems like. They've been like, the whipping boy of my entire life.
Yeah,
Don't get
obviously
it.
the 49ers dealing with injuries, but they've dealt with injuries all season and beaten teams. Like, gotta like
Definitely
what
an
Jacksonville's doing right now. I
yeah,
still don't really see them as likely to get to the playoffs, but yeah, maybe they'll sneak in at 6 or. I mean, who's gonna win the division, right? Like,
not the Texans.
yeah, not the Texans. Yeah, the Colts or the Jags. I guess it'll probably be the Colts. Can you imagine if we have 2 AFC South teams in the playoffs this year?
I
I
know.
can't imagine it.
And one of them could be the Titans. Wait, what?
No, 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 no.
That's a bridge too
No, no,
far.
no, 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 no. Yeah, lots of like here.
Okay, next up, we got the Ravens getting annihilated somehow by the Chiefs. I completely slept through this game because I had to make dinner right after this game, so I needed a power nap. Because for some reason I can never sleep the night before football Sunday. I'm cursed. So I was super tired, and I'm glad I slept through this because I wouldn't have want the distaste in my mouth of watching the Ravens completely fall apart at the wheel against these Chiefs who've been wildly abysmal to start the year.
Yeah, I saw some in the beginning of this game. This was before the Chiefs started to pull away. Then I wanted to watch the Rams, which are one of my favorite teams. It's just like the Bills are one of yours. So I did not see too much of this, but yeah, I mean, first of all, like Chiefs looking really good. And we've got Xavier Worthy, it really kind of carrying the passing attack for this team. This is really, I think, his passing attack. Obviously Mahomes, right? But I'm talking about the receivers.
His,
Um,
his first week
Much
back from
more.
injury too.
Yeah, I mean, this was. I think it's yeah. He looked really good last year too. I think it's more of Worthy's team in the passing attack than it is Kelsey's now, right? You go back a few years, especially after they lost Hill, and it really seemed like Kelsey was their passing game. Obviously
Oh,
Mahomes could
dude.
could hit running backs as well for big ends.
Bro, Kelsey is so insanely washed up. It's like not even funny. He's not even a top 10 tight end in fantasy.
Yeah, not stat wise. I mean, he's still playing well as a tight end, right? Making some clutch,
Uh,
third down grabs, blocking well. But yeah, he's not the catching tight end that he used to be. He's no Gronk. Um,
bro,
but
when
yeah, it really is
Jason
worth
when Jason
going.
Witten was like 38, he played better.
Yeah, speaking of geezers, Jameis Winston is 31, sir.
Okay, then it was Wilson who's the geezer. My bad.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
So
Winston, there's no way he's a geezer.
yeah, I
Um,
got him confused for
he
Wilson.
was just so bad for so long that it felt like he was a geezer. Uh,
Felt like he's been around longer. But Dak's 30
um,
or 31, so he can't be
Yeah,
a
is it
geezer.
time to start saying the Ravens are a bad team?
Uh, well, Lamar is going to miss at least a game, probably two. He went out with a hamstring in like the second half or something. Or was it? I don't know if it was a hamstring. It was something kind of bad.
I don't know what the injury was. Nah,
They
sorry.
got a good backup though. He's played a lot of games when Lamar's been hurt. And here's what I know: the Ravens have a worse defense than the Cowboys. I looked it up, and that says something. They have allowed even more points per game than the Cowboys, and defense is supposed to be like in their DNA. So, yeah, this is really bad. And
They're letting a lot of go. Yeah,
now they're way behind the Steelers in the division too. I mean, it's crazy.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
they'll still make the playoffs, but yeah,
I'm
they're
starting to feel not as confident in it. Yeah, they lost to the Bills 41-40 week one. I mean, that's certainly fair. They beat the Cleveland Browns. They lost to the Lions 38-30, and they lost to the Chiefs 37-20. It's just looking worse and worse each week, basically.
well,
Obviously, their three losses are to good teams, though.
true. And I think that they will probably stomp on a lesser quality team, even
Probably.
with or
Mhm.
without Lamar. So I think they'll still make the playoffs, but this
Yeah.
is obviously like a catastrophic start for a team with perennial Super Bowl ambitions.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, do you have more faith in them than the Bengals right now? Given the they're a game behind the Bengals.
What? That team rides or dies on Joe Burrow's arm. I have no faith in the Bengals.
Okay, so you still think like Ravens Steelers are the only two teams that really have the possibilities to be there at the end?
1000% yes.
That's probably fair. Um,
Yeah,
but one in Green, man.
Jake Browning ain't gonna ride to that seventh wild card slot.
Yeah, I mean, like they're losing to good teams, and just think about the fact that, and you're probably right about Browning. Just think about the fact that there's, three games slotted into your schedule based on your division standing. Three out of your 17 games are essentially, if you won the division last year, like the Ravens did, are gonna be harder games than someone like the Bengals are gonna have to face. And it's like,
Well,
I
the
don't know,
way the
man.
Ravens are playing, I feel like at this
Yeah.
point it'd be a toss up between them and the Steelers at this point, you know.
I'm sure the Ravens will be in the hunt at the end. I just don't have a
Well,
lot of faith that they're going to get it done.
I
What do we
think
got
there's
next?
I think there's still a good chance the Steelers could, fall apart and go on a big losing streak. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
they might just get the division almost by default.
the Ravens might win by default.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could have.
exactly.
All right, next up we've got Bears Raiders 25-24.
Yes, and the first time the Bears have probably won consecutive games and since the Dolphins won a playoff game. What do you think?
So like 26 years.
Exactly, yeah. Since before Saddam Hussein died, as I like to say.
Oh my god. Hey man, at least we've been to the playoffs recently. There's a lot of teams you can't say that for.
Not too many.
Quite a few actually. I think the Bears and the Raiders might be two of them. I know the Raiders. The Raiders had that weird like we were supposed to tie, but we ended up like going for the win and won against the Chargers a few years ago.
Yeah, they made the
The Bears, I
playoffs
don't think have sniffed the playoffs for a very long time though.
very, very long time.
Yeah, I called this game correctly. You called it incorrectly, and it did come down to the final couple plays.
Yep, I was staring at it on my phone.
Ashton, who you had a lot of faith in, did play well.
I know. That was the only bright spot of almost this entire week, is he finally had his breakout performance, for Christ's sake. Oh my god. He was such a bust before this game. This is my first round pick.
Yeah. Even with that, the Bears are just better than the Raiders. The Raiders, like I've been saying all season, are just a team that gives you nothing. Nothing interesting, nothing exciting. At least this game was exciting, but it was really exciting just by how mediocre both teams were.
Now, here's the thing. If Brock Bowers wasn't banged up, and if Geno Smith was playing as well this year as he's played with the Seahawks the last 2 years, I think the Raiders would be a fair bit better than the Bears in this game.
Maybe, but that if the Queen had balls, she'd be king. Every team has injuries.
Okay. All right. Next up to the banger of the week.
Oh, man.
The 40-40 tie between my Cowboys and the Packers, and I'm sure we both picked the Packers. This is 100% was a symbolic win for the Cowboys and 1,000% symbolic loss for the Packers. Everyone and their grandmother thought the Cowboys were going to get utterly annihilated in this game, and Dak plays one of the best games of his entire career. 5 touchdowns, 65 fantasy points. Someone had him on their bench, bastard. This was just the craziest game ever. And what made it all the more sweet is that Micah Parsons didn't even wipe his own ass this game. He was almost completely non-existent. Made Jerry Jones look like a genius because we paid the right guy and all that jazz.
This game truly had everything. It had blocked field goal, blocked extra point kicks for 2-point conversions on the other side. It had 70-yard strikes. It had about 42 penalty flags. It had like 5 lead changes in the fourth quarter. It had a 2-touchdown comeback. Early in the game by the Cowboys. It had really questionable overtime decision making with kicking the field goals.
You're forgetting one of the most.
Everything I felt what?
Said you're forgetting one of the most crucial things. Dak goes the distance, rises the occasion in the first game without CeeDee Lamb, and everyone was like, without CeeDee Lamb, they can't win a shootout. Of course, they didn't win, but it was a tie. But George Pickens just exploded. It was just awesome.
Man, yeah. Pickens has been good his whole career. But anyway, yeah. Like, and they kept cutting to CeeDee Lamb on the sidelines. In those, I love those like.
He's got some like Barbie braids in his hair. Yeah, he's a classy dude.
I wasn't going to talk about the braids. I love the shirt that the NFL has the coaches and the players who are not in uniform wearing on the sidelines. It's like black with like the neon colors. Yeah. He was just jumping around like he was high on something. It was actually a joy to watch him. I will say that. But yeah, this game left me so exhausted at the end because I just experienced every emotion known to mankind. Everything from just glee to frustration to anger to just admiration. Every fucking emotion known to mankind I went through in the span of that 3.5, 4 hours, and I was exhausted by the end of that. What a game. Now, this ended in a tie. You said that we went 8-8 and 6-10.
For the purposes of simplicity, I just put this as a loss for both of us.
Okay, I would say just count it out. I would say like I went 8-7. You went 6-9. Is probably the better way to do it. Just like count out the game entirely as if they never played, since we can't pick a tie. But yeah, I mean whatever. This game was incredible. A little bit of a collapse by the Packers, but they certainly you know
Oh, dude, this
staring
is
down a loss that they shouldn't lose. Love engineered a lot of really good drives late, so something to be said there too.
yeah. I didn't wear my Cowboys shirt this game because I was so mad at how they played against the Bears last week with that like Galaxy zone defense that they played, which was like embarrassing. And embarrassing is an understatement of the cosmos. It was so bad. All right, let's move
really
on.
Know how to make a game exciting. Yeah,
let's move on to making fun of something else. Okay, next up, we got our first Monday night game. All it took for the Dolphins to win is their best player to go out with an injury so they can enter the world of remote competence. Tell me about this game.
Yeah, the Hill injury was bad, and it looked bad in real time.
To make the playoffs, maybe they should just put a bag over Achan's head.
No, HN is their team, man.
They'll catapult him another step forward.
I don't think that's how it works, buddy. Maybe they just need to play the Jets every week, because the Jets stink.
I don't know. There's a real chance they could have blundered this and still lost.
Jets did have one drive, and in theory they could, but it really wasn't as close as it looked. The Dolphins were ahead by 2 touchdowns for a fair amount of this game.
I didn't watch this game because the Bengals-Broncos game started like 20 minutes after this game started. And I ended up listening to that one instead because the Broncos are my fantasy defense.
Yeah, but it's really a shame. You picked the wrong game to listen to.
It's probably, but I did watch that like 70-yard Justin Fields run.
Yeah, I mean that was the one impressive thing that he did, and the problem with Fields
that's always good for.
Accurate, but also like not the best decision maker. Sometimes he really makes it work, and yeah, that run was impressive. HN had some incredible runs. Tua was just throwing strikes to people. This was just very well played overall by the Dolphins, and it probably shouldn't have even been this close, given how they played. A few of the Jets' scores were on kind of freakish plays.
Yeah, in this game, I picked up a Dolphins tight end. Apparently, he's some like dinosaur that just started this game, and he got 2 touchdowns.
This is Darren Waller. He used to be really good before he was traded to the or maybe it was even while he was on the Raiders.
Said he was retired.
He was retired last season. Yeah.
Yeah, what is he like? 55 or something?
He's not that old. This is only like his 7th season.
He retired after 6 seasons?
He had some bad injuries. He was losing production. He was probably mad at stuff. Yeah. I mean, look, the average life of a running back in the NFL is 3 years.
He was a tight end.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, as an example, like lots and lots of players retire after just a couple of years.
Okay, I figured he was like at the end of his career, and he just like slotted in because Tyreek went out.
No, he's no geezer.
All right, well,
he just was kind of.
That's encouraging because I got him off the waiver wire.
Nice, man, nice. He's going to be a big part of their offense going forward. I think he was a star in his first couple seasons.
I'll say, boy, do I feel stupid pinging my fantasy hopes to Tua though.
It could be a lot worse. You could have taken Aaron Rodgers. Oh wait, you did, didn't you?
Bro, if you had DK Metcalf, you're drowning in fantasy pool. Or Metcalf, whatever. You're doing
DK Metcalf.
Whatever. If you have him or Kenneth Gainwell, you're drowning in fantasy points, bro.
I guess.
You come off of it, man.
Anyway, I think you owe the Dolphins an apology.
For beating the Jets? I don't think so yet. Get back to me when they win the second game.
Who did you have in this game, sir?
Oh, because I picked the Jets. Okay, you're right. I thought you meant just because they won a game. Not because
Unlike the Jets,
I don't know if there was a real chance the Jets
they
could
have
just.
as many wins as your Dallas Cowboys have right now.
That's not true. We got 1.5 wins.
No, you have 1 win and 1 tie.
That's half a win. That's how it works.
No, it's actually based on percentage. They don't count it as half. Like if you went 0-14-3 or something like that, I think you'd actually have the same record for the purposes of NFL standings as 0-17. I'm not 100% sure.
It's half a win and half a loss.
I think they count it out and they go by win percentage, but maybe they count it as half a win and then go by win percentage based on that. Either way, same number of actual wins as your Cowboys have.
You're right. All right, let's just go to the picks. We don't have to talk about the Bengals Bronco games. It was an absolute slaughterhouse. Jake Browning had 4 fantasy points.
Yeah, good on the Broncos for finally like a really clean win.
All right, somehow we can never get through the review without taking 45 minutes.
I know.
It's just fun talking about ball with your boy, right?
It is. It is.
All right, let's get into the predictions. The fun part, the funnest thing to do. Let's talk about tomorrow night. We've got the 3-1 49ers against the worst team in their division, the 3-1 Rams.
Yeah, look, CMC didn't look good against the Jags. I can't imagine that with First just powering through the line every time is going to look as as great against the Rams as I was hoping he might.
Au contraire, he hasn't been as good on the ground, but McCaffrey's been like a wizard in the passing game. He's had 20 fantasy points every single game. Bro, he got targeted 15 times last game.
That is fair, right? Do you get full point in receptions in your league?
Yeah, it's a PPR league, yeah.
Well, PPR, so yeah, that's kind of inflated.
Yeah.
I've got the Rams in this one. I think that they're the healthier team, and they are. I mean, they could very well be 4-0 right now. They're playing a lot better than I thought they would, with how much personnel they've lost.
Yeah, in these picks, I think I help you out too much by explaining my picks so much. I think it'd be a better chance of you picking against me if I didn't explain myself so thoroughly.
You almost always have me pick first, and any game that could be close, you're like, well, what do you think, Jason? Last week, I probably picked first like 14 out of the 16 times. Give me a break, man.
No, I just try to go back and forth, open up with what I think, and I just ask you your opinion.
All right, well, we'll check
I only asked you your opinion this time because I make fun of you.
Okay. Picking the Rams. As usual, I'm picking first. Who do you got?
I'm also picking the Rams just because the Niners are so depleted. And the Rams actually are pretty hot.
Next up, we have 2 just depleted, sad-looking teams. We've got the Vikings and the Browns. Who you got in this one?
Well, the Vikings still have Carson Wentz playing for another 2 weeks, I think, minimum. And but the Browns, oh man, that defense of theirs is still stank nasty. But the same thing could be said about the Vikings. I don't know. I feel like this is entirely obtainable by the Browns, to be honest.
Me too. It's like part of my my instinct is like Vikings, and then it's like I get the second guess in my head. Is this really a smart pick? I think the Browns actually kind of have the better defense. I'm going with the Vikings.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna re-solidify my lead, I gotta, go with the Browns, man. We're going with the Browns.
This is one that I feel like I may regret. Actually, I don't know why. Something is just niggling me in my head, saying, you're throwing away a point here, Jason.
Wouldn't be the first time. Let's just go back to week 1.
Oh man, we're gonna be in week 17. You'll still be living the glory days of week 1, the only time you won by any significant margin.
You don't realize how close you were to picking all 8 of those wrong. I was watching so closely. You were so closely to picking all 8 of those wrong. Okay. Next up, we've got the Texans at Baltimore, and this is definitely going to be a almost make or break game for both of these franchises. If you're just going to go down in flames if one of these teams loses. You got to figure the Texans have only barely won the division over the Colts the last 2 seasons, and while I do think the Ravens have a much better chance of making the playoffs if they lose this, it's still going to be rough, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good Houston team that's struggling a little bit against a great Baltimore team that's struggling a lot.
So give me your pick first.
Yeah, I can pick first if you want. I know who I'm picking. I'm picking.
I'm still picking the Ravens.
Yeah, I've got the Ravens as well, and the reason is like Baltimore's weakness has been that they've been drilled by really good offenses. You look at like the Browns. The Browns couldn't score a lot of points against them. So Houston, the one place they are struggling is on the offense, especially in the passing game.
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Baltimore is still going to score points, even if it's against Houston's, boomstick defense. I think that this is going to be probably like a, 20-13 Baltimore.
Maybe. It's a good argument. All right, next up, we got Shit Bowl 5, Dolphins at Carolina at home.
Wow.
I'm sorry, with this emergence of Jackson
on the slate, and you're calling this the toilet bowl?
Well, with the emergence of Jackson Dart, I don't think it qualifies anymore, man.
Oh my god, the emergence of Jackson Dart. Betting on him is like throwing darts, okay?
I don't know. People are hyping the shit out of his one NFL
he had like
start.
100 yards.
That's what I was saying too, man. All right, can the Dolphins win back-to-back games for the first time since Saddam Hussein died?
Yes. Oh, come on. They've started like 3-0 like 3 times during the McDaniel era.
Talk about a collapse.
The second half of the season that always looks bad. Yeah, Miami's winning.
Okay, are you sure it's a Panthers home game?
I'm not totally sure.
And you're always high on the Panthers being, they do have some good pieces.
Every once in a while, they look really good. I have faith in Miami to win a couple games and give me false hope before they collapse down the stretch.
Excellent prediction. Yeah, man, I'm going with this Tyreek Hill-less is going to propel them forward and beat the Panthers as well.
I don't know if you saw the post-game interview with Tua. It was really funny, just in light of the beef that Tua and Hill had in the offseason because Hill had quit on the Dolphins during that final game last season. It was really funny at the end, that they were, asking Tua about the win, and he's like, first of all, I want to thank Jesus Christ for letting us be here, for protecting the team, well, for protecting most of us.
Oh, yeah, I never watch any of that post-game stuff.
Yeah. So I think he just kind of had a little bit of a slip at the tongue. I don't think it was like Freudian slip or anything like that. I think it was just it was almost like programmed in him to, just give thanks to God first. And then realized, oh wait a minute, this could sound like I'm like throwing shade at Hill,
thank God for giving us our
protected
first...
most of us. If he really wanted to throw shade at Hill, he would have been like, yeah, well, all the important people made it through the game.
Yes, we needed God to help us beat the Jets. Thank God.
Look, all glory to God for But yeah, I got Miami in this game. I don't think 100% like they're definitely winning this, but I would definitely take them over the Panthers. At least 2-1.
Yeah, I would put it right at like 60% chance to win.
All right, now tell me why you actually want to pick against Daniel Jones again and pick the Raiders to take the Colts on.
It's like I said, and where you like made fun of my argument. If Brock Bowers wasn't like a gimp right now, and if Geno is playing like the Seahawks Geno, I think the Raiders would probably be like 2-1 or 3-1 right now. But he's not, so I am gonna go back with the Colts still because they just humming on more cylinders than the Raiders are right now. I hope though My boy Ashton over here, I hope they just ride him till the wheels come off now that, he's had one good game where he got some touches finally, though. Shit.
They don't have a lot else going on. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah. At some point, you're going to put respect on Daniel Jones's name.
I
After
am
they beat
not.
your stinky Raiders, it probably won't be this week. But
The Raiders aren't my team. It's just I got my boy needs to do well. Got to earn his keep, for God's sakes, man. He's killing me.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor also had a 50-something yard touchdown run last week that was called back on some completely unnecessary, irrelevant, but obvious holding penalty. It was there were so many reasons that the Colts could have won that game and 4-0 right now. The Colts are a very good team. I think between Johns and Taylor, this is actually sneakily one of the best offenses in the entire league this particular season. And I'm taking the Colts all the way. I don't think this one's going to be close.
I think you're probably right, and Daniel Jones is definitely going to turn back into a pumpkin at some point. May take a while, but it'll happen.
I think it's going to be the most tasty tempura pumpkin that you'll ever eat. Because, I think we're going to be looking at him when he's a geezer, still playing at the age of 39, talking about him as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, or maybe you'll still be begrudging him his flowers.
It's the same thing happened to Sam Darnold last year. It might have took till week 16, but he turned back into a pumpkin. He sucked in that game, and then he sucked in week 17, and he sucked in the first round of the playoffs. And
okay, here's what I think is going to happen.
That's what happened.
I think the Giants are about to turn back into a pumpkin, and I think that the only reason Daniel Jones didn't look good was that he was on the Giants. I'm taking the Saints.
Oh, we're talking about the next game. Okay.
Yeah? Toilet Bowl 5?
No, man, that's the Dolphin game. We got Jackson Dart up in this house.
I refuse to call teams that have had a game that looked good this season the Toilet Bowl when New York Giants, New Orleans Saints is on the docket.
What was your original argument? You said the Giants just make everyone bad or something?
Yeah. The Giants are a bad team that make everybody on their team look bad.
You're picking the Saints? Yeah, I'm definitely picking the Giants just because the energy. I think the energy factor alone, even if is going to be with the Giants, and even though they lost Malik Neighbors, it's not like he had chemistry with the Jackson Dart or anything, right?
I mean, just the fact that he was on the field made every other receiver so much more free.
That's definitely true.
Losing Neighbors is enormous. I didn't see any of Dart, but based on the numbers and based on the fact that they, barely won a game against against a good Chargers team, still, no, this is turning back into a pumpkin. I'm taking the Saints. So we got a split decision on this one.
Well, the Saints have a garbage defense, and they probably had him in his first NFL start ever on a very limited playbook. So there's every reason to believe he'll probably do better numbers this game.
All right. Next, we've got the 40-point scoring Dallas Cowboys against the 0-4. See what I did there? New York Jets.
Very good. Yes, if ever there was a game for the Cowboys to dumpster on an inferior opponent and not look like fools again like they did against the Bears, it would have to be this game. If they go into this game and the Jets end up dropping 25, 35 points on them, that is just untenable, man. Even if they beat the Jets.
I think the Jets will score 25, and they will beat the Jets, 27-25 or something.
Yes,
Dallas absolutely plays down to bad teams. The New York Jets are a bad team, and Dallas is about to play down to them. I have Dallas in a very close game. There's going to be no dumpster in here.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson will probably have 250 receiving yards or something. I think every team that's played the Cowboys, they've broken some kind of record for that player and that team. this season. That's just how otherworldly bad their defense has been.
Yeah, I mean, their defense is really not good, and their offense only plays up to what they need to at times.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Broncos at Philadelphia, and this might be a decent chance for a team to give the Eagles their first loss. Broncos have a pretty nasty defense and just had their best offensive game of the season. Not that that says much against the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, do you really think they're going to be able to stop Jalen Hurts in short yardage?
I don't think anyone can do that.
Right. So unless you're consistently, plucking them down to 3rd and 13, and even then, sometimes they convert that. I don't think that the Broncos, while good, are nearly good enough to make me feel confident that they can beat the best team in the league. I'm taking the Eagles.
I completely agree with you. I think the Broncos have a good shot, a better shot than you're implying, but not a good enough shot for me to pick against the Eagles also.
Yeah, it's definitely not impossible, but I take the Eagles probably, 3, maybe even 4, probably 4 out of 5 games. Somewhere between 3 and 4. Unlikely that the Broncos are going to take this one. I think Philly's probably going to put together a really long win streak before they take their first loss. Now that I've said that, they'll probably lose this time or week 6. All right, next we've got Tennessee, Arizona. This could be Toilet Bowl 5 as well.
I don't know. The Cardinals got 2 wins.
Yeah, Arizona at least looks okay.
That's twice as many as the Dolphins.
Twice as many as the Cowboys.
No, we got 1.5.
1 win. 1 win and 1 tie.
1.5.
Yeah. If you want to win the game, you have to actually win the game. I'm taking the Cardinals because they're not the Tennessee Titans.
I'm telling Cowboys probably get a playoff seed off of that 0.5 win. You just wait and see.
Pizza?
Probably we might get the 7th wild card off of that half a win.
You guys are not going to the playoffs, and neither are we.
Hey, man, you say the Giants are bad, the Redskins are slouching it up. I think the Cowboys have a shot.
One team will win in that division, will go to the playoffs, and it will be the Philadelphia Eagles. And your overrated NFC East can take a hike. I've got the Cardinals because they're not the Titans. You got the Cardinals as well?
That's a great rationale to pick the Cardinals, too.
I know.
And I am firmly not a believer in anything the Cardinals are selling.
But?
No, just that's it. Yeah, we got the Cardinals. All right, next up we've got the 3-1 Buccaneers against the 3-1 Seahawks in Seattle. And this one could be pretty close. I've been talking down a lot of shit on the Seahawks the whole year so far, just because I don't have a high opinion of Sam Darnold, and I've looked at his spreadsheeter over here. He's not put up great numbers at all, and they got a good running game and a good defense.
I mean, he's been pretty efficient though, hasn't he?
Maybe he has been efficient, but he's not the driving force behind these W's.
Yeah. Do you know if Evans is playing?
Mike Evans is not playing.
He's not playing. Okay.
I'm playing against my uncle has him, and he's playing against me this week. He's not playing.
Yeah. Okay. So I think without Evans, I do like the Seahawks here. Obviously, Tampa Bay is still a good team without him.
Well, they just got Godwin back, and the rookie they have has been sensational. So
I get it.
Even without Evans, they'll be very good. So
they're a good offense. Seattle's a great defense with a good offense. I think they're going to do enough to win this, but I could definitely see the way that the Bucs take it. I'm taking the Seahawks. Who you got?
Yeah, it's tough, man. I feel like I just have to keep trashing Sam Darnold until, I'm trapped in the sunk cost fallacy over here. So yeah. I can't believe that.
Next to Mahomes.
I don't want to see Baker lose 2 games in a row, 2 close games in a row. He's been so clutch. So I'm gonna go with the Baker rebound over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the faith in him. I think this is very close. I don't feel like this is a 2-1 or anything like that. I just
Buck's got a much better quarterback.
yeah, maybe I'm digging in a little too much to the. And I had the Seahawks to win this division, right? I think you had the Rams, so
I
you
think
know.
no, I'm pretty sure I was all in on the
Oh no, no, no,
nine.
we both had the 49ers actually, right?
I was all in on the 49ers bounce
Yeah,
back.
we both had the 49ers. Oops. Look, we couldn't have predicted all those injuries that quickly. Um, but yeah, I'm digging in on the Seahawks. I think they're much better than you think they are.
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
All
All right,
right.
next up we've got the Lions by whatever the hell they want against the Bengals.
Yeah. And the real question in this one on the spread is like,
40
when
or
are they going to
50.
play? When
Yeah.
are they going to play their second string? Because yeah, Detroit trashes bad defenses like.
They could probably just have all of the other receivers sit down and then drag and pry open Calvin Johnson's coffin and have him play, and then win this game still.
Oh, that's so funny. Like Dan Campbell just like puppeting the corpse of Calvin Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
CJ2K.
And in fact, we'll take it one step further. They'll just take out one of those lines and drag whatever swamp that Barry Sanders is buried in, and then run him out and still win.
Oh man,
Go even further back.
instead of Jameer. Yeah, Detroit's offense is so good. Amon-Ra, Goff, yeah, Jameer, and just like every like supporting player on it is doing so much too. It's not
Yes,
even just those stars who look incredible.
they're loaded.
Their line's great. It's just Detroit's offense really is just a thing of beauty. Obviously, the Dan Campbell, just game management and play calling is fantastic. Their offensive playbook is so fun. Such a fun offense to watch.
Yeah, I wish the Cowboys were 5% as cool as them. I
Yeah.
was licking my chomps hoping that Ben Johnson would be the Cowboys' next head coach.
And speaking of Calvin Johnson, I really liked him. I wish we could see him pop up in more places.
So you gonna try to get ahead on this one, Bengals or no?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the Lions.
All right, next up we got a much more even game: Redskins versus the Chargers at Los Angeles. This is tough. We've got. I'm almost 100% sure Jaden Daniels is not going to play in this game either. But at the same time, the wheels are falling off on the Chargers as like their whole offensive line has been annihilated.
Yeah, I mean the line is obviously really important, but the Chargers are not going to be happy after being taken down by the New York Giants.
No shame in
So
losing to Jackson Dart. Let's go.
yeah, I mean Washington is a good team that that just hasn't really like put it together as much. Last year they got a lot of clutch wins. Obviously, you can look at that and say they didn't deserve the wins. I'd say you look at that and say being clutch is really good, but they haven't really shown as much of that this season. Who you got? Because I know who I'm picking.
Uh, if Jaden Daniels was playing, I think I'd still pick the Chargers. So I'm picking the Chargers at home. They definitely have a better defense. And even if Daniels was in, I don't think they're playing that well.
I agree with you. Jaden Daniels himself isn't playing that well.
Not even from his hospital room.
Yeah, hoping for a quick recovery and that he'll be great once again. But yeah, I've got the Chargers all the way in this one.
All right, next up, we've got the Patriots at Buffalo. And I actually think there's a very real chance that if the Bills don't take this seriously, they could actually drop this game to the Patriots. How well the Patriots defense has been playing and their, fledgling offense that's coming online.
Absolutely, I agree. I will be looking at this game. If there's like good enough odds on the Patriots, I'll take them. thing is, Buffalo rarely loses at home, and obviously they're still juggernauts. They're 4-0. I've got Buffalo. Although, like, if we were doing like the take 2 points for a strong underdog, I would go for the Patriots in this one.
Hmm.
So, given our boring standard rules, yeah, I've got the Bills. But we'll be watching this game because this is going to be a fun.
Yep. Can't vote against Josh. That's just insane.
Yeah, that would be really hard to do. Buffalo hasn't lost more than like one game within its division, and who knows how.
God, the Dolphins.
And finally, we got Kansas City and the surprisingly resilient Jacksonville Jaguars. 2-2 at 3-1. What do you think?
I think the Chiefs have been so wobbly this season, they could literally drop a game against anybody, and they can probably still beat anybody. But, so, makes kind of spitefully picking against Mahomes is, getting a bit dangerous. But at the same time, enticing. Yeah, last season I think I picked against him every time they were playing any team with a winning record. So
you picked against them a lot of times last season. How did that work out for you?
No, not the stupid times. Just any time they were playing someone remotely competent. So.
Yes. Yeah. Now, do we think that the Jaguars are actually remotely competent?
I tell you what, the Chiefs play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. No matter what the state of the game on either side of the ball is, I'm picking the Cowboys for that game, man.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
No way.
Wow. Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Really going out on a limb. Who you got?
Oh, man. Man, Jaguars are such fucking garbage, man.
But they're hot garbage.
I don't even believe it's hot. It might be like cold fusion garbage or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Just making energy out of nothing at all.
This ain't even someone I remotely believe in. That could be. I'm picking the Chiefs still.
I've got the Chiefs as well.
This is just weak ass trash Jags. Trevor Wilson is a fraudster if ever there was one.
You just don't like him because he has long hair. All right, our 4 games that are different this week: Cleveland, Minnesota. Wow.
That's
Giants.
Not crazy.
Yeah, it really isn't. Both of those teams are looking desperate right now. Giants and New Orleans. For some reason, I highlighted Philly and Philly. Let me take that off. So we only have 3 split decisions. The last one is Tampa Bay and Seattle. Also an interesting one.
Tampa Bay and Seattle.
All right, yeah. And then, my prop for the week, I have the New York Jets are only going to score on Justin Fields' rushing touchdowns. No field goals, no other touchdowns.
Why do you keep picking against the Cowboys defense? They suck.
I don't know.
That's crazy. That's like 2 weeks ago you said something similar. The Cowboys won't let the Bears get a touchdown. Like what?
Yeah, I said the Giants and the Bears will have 2 touchdowns combined. I was right about the Giants.
That was crazy.
You're always like, the thing you're picking is too likely. I don't like it. I won't accept it. Pick something else, Jason. Here you go. Jets only score on Justin Fields' rushing touchdowns. Happy?
So that means they can't have one of their running backs get a touchdown either?
Correct. There will be no other scoring besides Fields' rushing touchdowns.
So no field goals either?
No field goals either.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one, I guess. It's just pure Jets incompetence, basically.
And you prop that, sir?
Let's see. I always come up with these at the spur of the moment.
Well, I guess I'll take Dart to take 1,500 passing yards.
Wow, that was so close to what I was going to say. I was going to be like, not 1,500. That seems a bit verbose for him.
Okay, only 500.
Let's go with all of the losers, but we'll include Dart. Let's say we'll go with Jackson Dart, Joe Flacco, and Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, they'll all have over 250 passing yards. So all the bums step up.
Okay, I'll give that to you, but you have to do the checking this week. I'm not doing another thing for you that requires 4 different players.
Deal.
But if you do the check, I'll give that to you.
Even though last season you were like, all the teams with blue uniforms. Yeah.
I did the check for that, and by the way, it was orange uniforms.
Or some crazy shit.
I did the check. Okay? And I wasn't even close on that one. I remember how far off I was. It was a great prop bet, though. Okay. Dart, Flacco, Darnold, and Lawrence, all 250 plus.
All right. A lot of fun as usual. That does it for our week 5 picks, and we'll see you guys next week.
Take it easy, guys.